Law Society, good morning.
Hello there, how you doing? I'm wondering, could you help me out? I just have a couple of very general inquiries. Could you tell me?
Go ahead and I'll see how I can direct you.
Thanks a million. I'm trying to find out just the understanding of some legal terms. For example, what is an act?
I don't know if anybody here would be able to help you on that. Your local Citizens Information Centre would be able to help you on that. We only deal with complaints about solicitors here.
But am I through to the Law Society?
You are.
So your entire job is just to deal with complaints, is it? We're
the regulatory body over the solicitor's profession, and we only deal with complaints about solicitors.
Okay.
Any queries in that regard, we would direct on to your local Citizens Information Centre.
Do you have a number for a local Citizen Information Centre?
I don't. There's a number of them across the country. I can give you the one here in Dublin, and they may be able to refer you or give you the number.
That'd be lovely.
809.
Yeah.
0633.
Okay, so 809-0633. So tell me, when a solicitor signs to the Law Society, you know that they join or they become members of the Law Society?
Yeah.
Do they have to be a member of the Law Society to practice?
They need a practice and certificate to practice.
And must they also be...
You want to check to see if somebody has one?
No, I'm just wondering, must they also be a member of the Law Society to practice?
Don't necessarily have to be a member, but if they're a practicing solicitor, they need a practicing certificate.
And does a practicing certificate come through the Law Society?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're not a member, you won't get one?
Not necessarily.
So how else might you get one?
Being on our roll of solicitors, once they qualify, they go on to a role here.
Right.
And then if they're practicing, then they apply on a yearly basis for their practicing certificate.
And do you have any practicing solicitors from the role that are not members at the moment?
Yes, there could be.
There could be, or there are? Or they're not?
Give me an idea of your query and I can refer you maybe to that area.
Well, I've just asked the query. I'm wondering, is the Law Society privately owned, privately run? Or is
it is, yeah.
Okay.
It's run by the Council of the Law Society.
It's run by the Council of the Law Society?
Yeah.
And is that
a particular solicitor you're inquiring about?
No. Is the Council of the Law Society privately owned limited company?
That I don't know. We have a website. It would probably give you all the information you may need. It's www.lawsociety.ie.
Okay, and I'm just curious as to... So it's not in any way government funded?
No.
The Law Society has no government funds at all? No support, no charitable status? Does it have a charitable status?
That I don't know. Do you want to talk to a regulation department?
That'd be great.
Okay, one moment please.
Thank you.
Hello, yes, may I help you?
Hello there. Is that the regulation department?
It is indeed.
Hello there. I have a couple of general questions for you. The Law Society of Ireland. Can you tell me, is that fully privately owned?
No, it's a regulatory body for solicitors.
So is it a government body?
It's not a government body, but there's legislation there for it. You know what I mean? It's set out in the Solicitors Acts.
Okay, so it is set out with government legislation, but it's not...
It is, yeah, but it's not a government body. It's a regulatory body for the solicitor's profession.
Okay, and the regulatory body is run by a Council of the Law Society?
That's correct.
And is it a limited company?
No, it's not a limited company.
So what is it? What's its legal standing?
It's the Law Society of Ireland. If you look at the 1954 Act, you'll probably find, all of the information you require.
Yeah.
The Solicitors Act 1954.
Okay, let me just write that down there. Solicitors Acts 1954. Can you actually, now that I'm on to you, could you tell me what is an act?
An act is legislation brought in by the government.
And is legislation law?
Yes.
It is. It's the same word,
Yeah.
really. So,
Yeah.
so any legislation is law. So, for example, the Road Traffic Act is in fact a law, is it?
Yes, it would be.
Absolutely guaranteed it's a law.
Well, as far as I know, it's a law, yes.
So,
Why
can you...
don't you get onto the government, the Department of Justice and clarify that with them?
I will. I'll do that too.
Yeah.
I'm just curious because an act is spelt ACT and a law is spelt LAW, and I'm wondering how both can be the same. But anyway, I
But
don't.
the act is what makes the law. That's my understanding of it.
The act is what makes the law.
I would imagine so.
Oh, okay. So can you'd imagine so? Can you explain a wee bit about what you mean by that? The act makes the law, meaning that an
In
act.
other words, a law is a general term, I presume. You know what I mean? But when the government implements an act and brings it into force, then that becomes the law. That sets out precisely what one can and cannot do.
Okay. So for example, then the Road Traffic Act would have a number of different elements to it, and each one of those are law.
Yeah.
Okay. So, because one of those would be, for example, it's law to have a license to drive your car.
Yeah, we don't give any legal advice here.
Oh,
you know,
no, I know that.
legislation.
Yeah. I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not looking for legal advice. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
understand a few things. So I'll phone the Department of Justice on that. But let's get back for a moment to the Council
But
of
then
Law
probably
Society.
the Department of Transport would probably deal with the road traffic. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. Well, I suppose both of them would be worth talking to. So,
Yeah.
in relation to the Law Society of Ireland and the Council of the Law Society, if it's not a limited company, how is it registered then in relation to paying tax or paying its due or having...
It would pay tax the same as anybody would pay tax.
But it's not a limited company.
No, it's not a limited company.
So, if
I mean,
it...
there's lots of companies that are not limited, I would presume.
Right, so it's a public company as opposed to a
It's
private
a
company?
regulatory body.
Yeah, but it must have some kind of a legal standing that allows it to actually work. Like what criteria does it work within if it has no legal standing?
But I'm saying it works within the Solicitors Acts.
Right, okay. So it doesn't do business the same way regular companies do business.
No, it's a regulatory body for solicitors' profession, for the education and regulation of solicitors.
So does it have a managing director or a CEO?
It has a Director General.
A director general. And who's the director general answerable to?
To the Council of the Society.
And who are they answerable to?
I presume I don't really know. I mean, they're answerable to the whole profession, I would presume.
So one might consider them to be a law unto themselves then?
No, they'd be elected by the members of the society.